You know what's funny is when all these wokies try to call us grifters for our nonsense and our bullshit. You saw the real Game Awards by Stuttering Craig come out not long ago, and every single little wokie was crying their little woke hearts out that, oh, it's a grift. Why are you making people pay money to vote? But then you see the Gaming Awards, and this was going on Twitter. I'm reading Smash's article because he put it together in a nice little package for me, as opposed to me going all over Twitter and seeing everybody posting about it and having to gather it. I'd rather just shout outs to Smash. So here it is. It's called the Gaming Awards Grift Exposed How Game Journalists Are Cashing In on Misleading Promotions. Now, this is interesting. This is an annual event designed to celebrate LGBTQ plus representation in gaming. Which, okay, cool. Have your little special day, whatever you want. Keep in mind, these people think the real Game Awards by Stuttering Craig is a grift. But let's look at what this is. This is a real grift. So he goes on to say, on the surface, this might seem like a well-meaning effort to promote inclusivity, but digging deeper into their operations and pricing structures, it becomes way more clear than that this event is nothing more than a cash grab designed to extort ridiculous sums of money from game publishers and companies in exchange for promotional exposure. And then he goes, you're shocked, right? I know. So here's the supporters right now. We got Humble Games, Zynga, Out Making Games, QWERTY Games, and NYC Gamers, right? Now here's where the grift, the icing on the grift cake happens. So this is the price of promotion. It says, let's take a closer look at the absurd amounts that the Gaming Awards charge for sponsorship opportunities. Should we start at the top or the bottom? Should we start at the bottom? Let's do the bottom. So for $35,000, just to be labeled as a supporter, just to be labeled supporter, 35,000 fucking dollars. Yet these people are crying about a $30 annual fee to vote in a Game Awards show for Stuttering Craig, and the only reason why they're crying is because it's a right wing grift. That's all it is. What about a left wing grift? $35,000 to be a supporter, just to be a supporter. Now for $50,000, you could be an indie festival sponsor, or you could sponsor a single category or be the day sponsor. $50,000. These are all prices of people's annual salaries, but $30 a month, $30 a year for the real Game Awards by Stuttering Craig is a grift, right? $30 for a year is a grift. That's cheaper than a Netflix membership. But these guys want $50,000 to sponsor indie festival or the single category or the day sponsor. Now $90,000 is to be an event sponsor. $150,000 is to be a presenting partner. Wow, and you want to talk about grifts? You only talk about grifts because it's something that disagrees with your woke echo chamber. All of you little wokies are a whole bunch of fags with how you cry about shit that you really don't give a fuck about because y'all are hypocrites more than anybody. Now, continue on. This says, these prices are astronomical for what amounts to a little more than a vanity spot at a niche award show that few outside the LGBTQ plus community and some game journalists care about. So you could even take a look. This is I guess the graphic made for it. They're talking about how it's a 3-day virtual convention of queer geekery held from February to Sunday. From AAA games to indies, anime to animation, drag to celebrity. There's truly something for everyone. Blah, 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 blah. You know, yeah, okay, whatever. The sponsorship opportunity is a fucking joke. All right? I don't care how you fucking slice it. Now, continuing on, he says, compare this to the cost of sponsorships at more mainstream gaming events, and the overpricing becomes even more apparent. The Gaming Awards are exploiting companies' desires to appear inclusive and socially responsible, using representation as a weapon to pressure them into paying exorbitant fees. And that's right, because now you got to pander to a modern audience. Oh, look at us. We cater to LGBTQ. They all do it around Pride Month. They all change their little logos to rainbows and all this crap. It's all pandering, and this award show is clearly taking advantage of that. Because if you don't sponsor them, let's say they reach out to your company, you don't pay their price, you're a bigot. You're a homophobic. So they got them in their pocket, which is where they want them. Now, continuing on, it says, this tactic isn't limited to the Gaming Awards alone. Game journalists, especially those affiliated with smaller outlets, have increasingly become some of the most shameless grifters in the industry. A recent promotional email from @GamingMag provides insight into just how deep this rabbit hole goes. See, here's a fucking email that was trending around. I tried to find this on Twitter, and it was blurry as fuck, but we got it right here on Smash's thing. So they're basically saying, you know, all the right things. Like, did you know 1 in 5 of all video gamers in the U.S. identify as LGBTQ? That's huge and is well above the accepted community average of 8%. We know that there's a similarly large number of LGBTQ gamers throughout the UK and Europe too. Also last year, $57 billion was spent in the U.S. on video games. This means that the spending power of LGBTQ gamers is $11 billion in the U.S. alone. I don't think their math is mathing here, but basically they're trying to hype it up like, hey, you know, we're reaching out. We need marketing. We're the world's only LGBTQ video game magazine, and we're the go-to resource for it, and you have to sponsor us. It'll be great for you guys. It's a perfect time to benefit from this increase in traffic and attention for over 2 months over DigiPride, which I guess is mid-May to mid-July for them, and a great way to activate authentically and at scale in the community of LGBTQs, right? So they're basically using the LGBTQ community to make money. They're basically grifting off of it. They probably seriously don't give a fuck about true pride or activism because, again, all these activists, they're quick to call people like me, Grumps, Hypnotic, Smash, Melanie, all grifters. But at the end of the day, they're the ones grifting off of labels, off of oppression, off of all this bullshit. And this award show is proof of it. How the fuck is Stuttering Craig's Real Game Awards a grift if it's $30 a year for the voting power and it's closed to fucking Access Media? It's for real gamers that aren't Access Media, not getting real codes. But this is a fucking joke. For $35,000 just to be a supporter? Get out of here. So yeah, he goes on to say, according to their pitch, $7,000 to $8,000 USD, or around $4,000 if you're lucky enough to catch their Pride sale. Game developers and publishers can get the following: regular banner advertising on their site, social media posts promoting their game, guaranteed impressions of 600,000 on social media, and featured spots on their podcast and stream. So if you're a video game developer, they're trying to entice you. Hey guys, you get all this, all that, right? We're giving you quid pro quo. We're giving you articles. We're giving you write-ups about it, featured marketing stuff and podcasts and streams. This is what Sweet Baby Inc. does. This is what Kotaku does. This is what Nick Calandra got exposed for at Second Wind. They all try to get all this whole like insider club to scratch each other's back, and if you don't pay, they're going to fucking betray you and try to black label you. So it says, what the kicker? The paid articles they offer. For a fee, they'll write and publish articles about your game. These articles are presented as if they're genuine editorial content, when in reality, they're nothing more than paid advertisements. That's a pretty deceptive practice if true. And they don't announce that. They will not say this was paid for or sponsored by the developer. This is a paid promotional advertisement. They're only writing positive coverage for you because you're paying for their shit. And it's a lack of transparency. And Smash says it right here. This blatant lack of transparency violates any of the most basic principles of journalistic integrity. There's supposed to be a solid wall between the business side of media companies and the journalists who write the content. But in this case, that wall has been completely destroyed. You're literally paying for articles, social media boosts, and impressions with no indication to the readers that these features are bought and paid for. And that's honestly allegedly what they were saying Second Wind's doing. We've seen Kotaku do it. We've seen IGN. Like all of these woke journalists that are activists are doing this, guys. They're using this grift secretly to get developers to pay them for good write-ups. That's exactly what it is. So this goes on to say, one particularly eyebrow-raising detail from the promotional material is the promise of paid social media boost with guaranteed impressions of 600,000. This is an insane amount of impressions to promise and raises more questions than answers on just how exactly they got to that number. And it's especially curious coming from an account that struggles to get more than 5 likes on a post while having 17,000 followers. And then you can see how they're supposed to get 600,000 guaranteed, right? And then their Instagram only has 6,315 followers. I'm close to that. I'm like at 6,090 or something like that. Or somewhere in the 6,000s. So this is weird. And Smash goes on to also say he's seen it in other instances. This isn't an isolated case. We've been covering it, guys. There's many solicitations from smaller gaming outlets offering to write paid articles, often without any form of disclosure. They'll push a game in front of their audience for a fee, and since their readership is often unaware of the monetary exchange, these articles appear as genuine recommendations or reviews. So yeah, this is exactly, like he even mentions it right here, where Frost accused Nick Calandra of Second Wind of doing just this a few months ago. It's gross manipulation of both the readers and the developers, feeding into a cycle of deceit that undermines the credibility of gaming journalism as a whole. And yeah, it's honest. Like these companies, these journalists, all these consulting companies, even the Gayming Awards, they're all into it. They all are just for a buck, and they will only promote your game if you go with their agenda and pay them. And it's literally quid pro quo. It's literally a fucking problem that this gaming industry is suffering from a lot of vile, unhonest journalists. And, you know, Smash hit the nail on the head on here. And it's obvious that there's a grift right here. It's obvious that there's a grift in here. So now, according to this, it says in a suspiciously convenient arrangement, IGN's parent company, Ziff Davis, acquired Humble Bundle, which just so happens to be a sponsor of the Gayming Awards. Meanwhile, IGN publishes puff pieces and glowing coverage about Gayming Awards show and even hosting their event at IGN's Summer Gaming, conveniently omitting any mention of their shared corporate ownership. So yeah, they're not disclosing that they're owned, that they're a part of the parent company, that they're owned, and it's weird. Going on, it says it's a clear conflict of interest that blurs the lines between genuine editorial content and their promotional material. It seems like a calculated move to bolster Humble's reputation while cashing in on sponsorship dollars without giving readers the full picture. And then you can see he's exposing other things, like it's suspected that IGN's Humble was also the anonymous donator to saving TakeThis.org when they were begging for $80,000 from the gaming community to keep the doors open. That they have a history of being partnered and sponsored by Humble Bundle over the years. And yeah, just calling it out, saying that this is a huge fucking grift. And that there's several events out there, guys, that are opportunistic about activism and stuff like this. They want to profit off of the whole idea of this wokeness out there. They want to be like, hey, you need to be part of the representation, part of the inclusion, part of this thing. And all along, it's all aroused. If you're sponsoring things like the Gayming Awards, you're just paying for something fake that's not really there. It's not real. There's no inclusivity here. There's no diversity. It's all backhand deals. And he says it right here. In reality, these companies are paying for an illusion, the illusion of representation, the illusion of authenticity, and the illusion of actual promotion, while it feels more like lining the pockets of their buddies in the industry. And that the Gayming Awards aren't about celebrating LGBTQ plus representation in gaming. They're about making money using the veil of inclusivity to get there, plain and simple, with the exorbitant, or I always mess up on that word, exorbitant sponsorship prices combined with the shady paid-for articles and social media boosts from IGN, which reveal them for what they truly are, the ultimate grift. And that paid-for articles, the positive coverage, all that's the true grifts, all right? But me coming here, speaking my mind and get stuff that I don't like, they want to label that as a grift. They want to label Smash. They want to label the real Game Awards a grift. Even though it's just $30 a fucking month, you're seeing this bullshit. Get out of here. Honestly, like, they're all retarded. They're all retarded. So let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you're brand new. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. As always, take care.